Good afternoon and welcome Government of China and Olympic representatives. Thank you all for coming. I am Cameron Boyd, the CFO of the 2022 Beijing Olympics. It has been a journey to get to where we are today, and I'd like to thank you all for the endless amount of energy everyone has put forth day in and day out. Without this team, we would not have the Olympic Games to host. Today, I'll be providing an update of where we are now with our Olympic venues and where we can expect to be post-Olympics. I have emailed a copy of the meeting's briefs, which include the topics which we will run through today during this presentation. The investments made to the 2022 Beijing Olympics has and will continue to create positive impacts on the economy of Beijing and surrounding areas struggling economically. Through this presentation, I will explain why this is and how we can ensure that this is the case moving forward. In 2015, just 7 years ago, we were elected by the International Olympic Committee to host the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. This Winter Olympic Games will host almost 3,000 athletes from 91 nations competing in 109 events in 7 sports and 15 disciplines. This brings forth great responsibility and attention to detail as we look to cater to the world's best athletes. Through this 17-day period in which these athletes will be in our Olympic Village, we look to ensure that every box has been ticked and that we have provided the stay that is equally as comfortable as their own homes, all while maintaining the prestige and elegance in which Beijing is known for. The Olympics, as we know, can cost billions of dollars, and the bid alone for this Olympics was $3.1 billion. The overall total is expected to exceed $38.5 billion US dollars. The $38.5 plus billion has been put towards creating a winter spectacle like no other. This Olympics will provide Beijing with many opportunities as they bring winter sports to China and give the struggling northeast areas a chance to gain economic success. While Beijing may not be looked at as a winter destination, we look to change that with these games and to bring in a new season of travel and tourism into the city. The money put into these games will not only provide accommodation for the athletes during their stay, but also increase ability for future travel in Beijing, as we have built a new self-running high-speed train that will take guests from their accommodations to the venues. This train will run approximately 15 to 20 times a day to ensure accessibility, flexibility, and make sure it fits into everyone's schedule. We will now shift focus to the impacts that hosting the Olympics will have on Beijing. The first impact would be tourism. While we have made the proper decision to keep foreign visitors away from the games this year, for the city and the athletes' safety, we can expect approximately 3 billion viewers from around the world. You may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with tourism? Well, with viewers spectating their country's star athletes competing in our beautiful facilities, we can expect them to want to travel to see our venues for themselves. This will give an increase in travel to the villages and the venues, helping to boost the local economy and provide the struggling northeast Beijing with an image of a winter wonderland. Con to this would be that the budget set is more than likely to be exceeded, as no Olympics since the 1960s has stayed under. How we plan to combat our overspending will be through the reuse of past Olympic venues and design the infrastructure that will remain important to our future rather than solely to accommodate the Olympics. The second pro to hosting the Olympics is the benefit it will bring to trade and stature. With the hosting of these games, it is more than likely that we will gain access and invitation to prestigious world economic organizations. We will be able to promote our country's brand and companies through the coverage of these games, allowing for more exposure and opportunities in the future. Finally, the Olympic Games has brought many jobs to the city and surrounding areas of Beijing. The jobs alone help the economy and citizens receive a stable pay. The jobs will also increase the city's GDP, which will benefit economic growth and provide higher standards of living, overall allowing the Beijing economy to grow. A bump along the way. COVID has been an issue for every city around the world and has caused many issues with the preparation of these games. We have all been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and have felt it economically over the past few years. While it seems there is a light at the end of the tunnel, we are very unsure of where we will be when it's all over. With this being said, we have been impacted in many aspects. The major one will be the loss of foreign visitors. With the loss of these spectators, we will see a shortcoming in what economic gain we had planned for during these games, but as mentioned, doesn't mean that we won't see it post-Olympics and into the future. As mentioned throughout this presentation, we have made a plan and a way to be economically successful post-games. We will stick to the script that has been provided and laid out for us, and continue on our mission to make Beijing and the northeast areas more economically stable. While many cities struggle post-Olympics with what they will do with these world-class venues, we have been fortunate enough to reuse venues from the 2008 Olympics, which have held host to the Summer Olympics and Paralympics, and now the Winter Olympics and Paralympics. This will ensure that our venues remain in use and versatile for future events, such as the operas, concerts, and other sporting events. I personally believe that the state of Beijing's economy is strong, and that the Games will only provide more benefits. I believe that the fans not being able to come does leave an impact, yet I believe that the viewership and the venues that we have been creating will bring in a surplus of visitors post-Games. I believe that we are solely going up from this position and will continue on the upward trend. I now leave you with these questions to think about. Where do you believe we will be post-Games, and do you think there is anything we can do in the present or future to obtain a stronger economic stance? Thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting again post-Games.